Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 4 of this series and going over тест элементарного уровня. Номер 40. Я еще не знаю, что подарить Ане, Анну или об Ане. So here they want you to choose the appropriate case, and they want you to answer the question подарить что кому. So подарить means to gift. And when you're gifting something, which is the direct object, gifting something to someone, and that someone is the indirect object. And so that's why we have что in the accusative case for direct object and кому for the indirect object, dative case. So an example, we have here мы подарили ей шоколад. We gifted to her chocolate, and ей is она in the dative case, and chocolate is just chocolate in the accusative case. And since it's a masculine noun, it ends with a hard consonant. There is no ending change for accusative. So knowing this, let's look at our options here. Что подарить Ане, Анну или об Ане? The accusative case, the direct object in this sentence is что. I don't know what to give. Я еще не знаю, что подарить. Okay, that что is the direct object. And so we need Anna, right? We need Anna in the dative case, the indirect object. So Anna, which ends with an A, with an A, you want to change the ending from an A to a ye. Singular feminine nouns that end with an A, you change the ending to a ye. And so our answer is going to be A, Anya. Okay, that's going to be our answer. Be, Anu, means that Anna is the direct object, which is not appropriate here because we are not gifting Anna to someone, right? We are gifting something to Anna. And ve ab Anya, here it doesn't really make sense. We're not talking about somebody, right? We're not. I don't know. I don't know what to gift about Anna. So that's why we don't use ve here. It's подарить что кому. 41. В нашем доме нет лифта или лифта. So they want you to choose the appropriate case. And to remind you guys, when you express the absence or lack of something, you use нет чего. Нет чего is the genitive case. So when you're expressing absence or lack of something, you use the genitive case. All right, so let's look at our options here. We have A, liftu, B, lift, and V, lifta. So the nominative is lift for elevator, lift. And in order to put it into the genitive case, you add an A to the end. It's a singular masculine noun that ends with a hard consonant, T. So that's where we add an A ending for the genitive case. В нашем доме нет лифта. A liftu is dative case when you add an U ending. And here it's not appropriate because when you're expressing the lack of something, you use genitive case. Lift, be, is just either the nominative case or accusative case for elevator. And here we don't use either of those cases to express the absence of something. 42. Летом Игорь был Москва, из Москвы или в Москве. So again, choose the appropriate case. When you're expressing where someone or something is, был или будет, you answer the question где. Где ты был? Where were you? And when you're answering the question где, you trigger the prepositional case, right? When you want to answer, where something is, that's when you use the prepositional case. So let's look at our options. We have A, Moskva. That's just the nominative case for Moscow, Moskva. So there's no ending change. So how would that sound in the sentence? That would be Летом Игорь был в Москва. In the summer, Igor was Moscow. So doesn't make sense here. Из Москвы. So when you're talking about where someone is from, you're going to be, or where they came from, you're going to be using откуда. And we don't use откуда here. Okay. So we can't use be из Москвы. We're answering the question где. And so that's why the answer is going to be в Москве. This is the prepositional case showing that Igor was in Moscow in the summer. Летом Игорь был в Москве. Okay, that answers the question где. Where was he? 43. Я должен позвонить бабушке или бабушке. Again, choose the appropriate case. When you call someone, you use позвонить кому. Dative case. You call to someone. As an example, we have ты позвонила Ане. Anna in the dative case, to ye ending change for singular feminine noun. Right? So that is Anna in the dative case. So now we're looking for babushka in the dative case. We have babushku, to u ending change for singular feminine. That is accusative. So we know it can't be because we позвонить кому. We don't позвонить кого. Ver or babushke, since we have the or, and then we have a ye ending change for babushka, that is a prepositional case. This means about grandma. I should call about grandma. No, it does make sense if we translate it in English, but in Russian, we don't позвонить о ком. We don't call about someone. You can позвонить поговорить о ком. You can call to talk about someone. But here, you can only позвонить кому. Кому. And so the answer is going to be бабушке. Я должен позвонить бабушке. That's the to ye ending change we're looking for in the dative case. 44. Скажите, пожалуйста, сколько стоит молока или о молоке? Again, choose the appropriate case. And when you're asking about prices, you say сколько стоит это, with это being the subject in the nominative case. Okay. As an example, you can say сколько стоит это яблоко. Это яблоко. So we're looking for milk, молоко, in the nominative case. And so we're looking for no ending change. That is going to be молоко. Ver молока, that's genitive case. You can say нет молока, right, to express the absence of something. And we don't use a genitive case here. Ver is a молоке, about milk. And that's not appropriate here because nothing indicates the use of the prepositional case to talk about something. Just as an aside, стоит is from the verb стоит, meaning to cost, while стоит is from the verb стоять, meaning to stand. So it's good to keep that in mind, that the stress can shift from the o to the e, depending on whether you're trying to say something costs something or whether something is standing. 45. Моя подруга серьезно занимается физикой или физика. Choose the appropriate case. We заниматься чем. Заниматься чем. Заниматься means to occupy oneself. We have the sia ending, so it's reflexive. So you're performing the action on yourself. And when you're occupying yourself, you occupy yourself with something, and that's why it is чем. Чем ты занимаешься? What do you occupy yourself with? Okay, so we know it's instrumental because we have чем. So we're looking for the word física in the instrumental case. Física meaning physics. So моя подруга, my girlfriend or my female friend, серьезно занимается, seriously studies or occupies herself with, and then the answer is going to be физикой, okay? When we're doing física, When we're turning that into the instrumental case, we have an a ending. A becomes o y kratka. O y kratka when we're doing the singular feminine instrumental case. And that's why it is be. 46. Мой отец работает. Okay, so here they want to differentiate and choose the appropriate case. So we have biolog. So biolog means biologist, and it is the nominative case for biologist, biolog. Biologum, you have an o-m ending for a singular masculine noun. The o-m ending is singular masculine instrumental, okay? O-m. Ve biologa, we have an a ending. An a ending to a singular masculine noun, animate noun, is either going to be genitive or accusative animate, because remember, biolog is a person, and so it would be animate for accusative case. Okay, so when you use the verb работать to work, and you want to talk about what someone's profession is, you use construction работать кем to work as someone. Okay, so if you want to say that my dad works as a biologist, you would say мой отец работает биологом. Biologum. That is the instrumental case for biolog. 47. Samir, we have an M dash here, and this signifies a nominative case. You can kind of think of it as an equal sign. Samir is, and then biologist. So we're going to want the nominative case after that. So Samir, biolog. Samir, biolog. That's the answer to 47. It is a very simple construction and something that you really learned in the beginning. Maybe you verbalized it, talking in conversation, you would say, yeah, student. And when you say that you're a student, you have there's an M dash there. And you'll notice that student does not decline. It stays in the nominative case. Yeah, student. Samir, biolog. All right, 48. Преподаватель рассказывал о профессии чего. Okay, the teacher was talking about the profession of a biologist or of the biologist. Okay, and when you're talking about the profession of something, that of is going to signify the use of the genitive case, right? And so that's why for 48, the answer is the biologa. Преподаватель рассказывал о профессии биолога. The teacher was talking about the profession of a biologist. 49. На экскурсии мы фотографировали нашего друга, нашему другу или у нашего друга. They want you to differentiate here between direct and indirect objects. Direct objects answer the question что, кого, while indirect objects answer the question чему, кому. Okay. Now, 49 here. На экскурсии мы фотографировали. We photographed, and whatever you're photographing or whomever you're photographing, that is the direct object. So we're looking for accusative case. We're looking for наш друг in the accusative case. And the accusative case for наш друг, animate, is а. На экскурсии мы фотографировали нашего друга. It can't be бе, нашему другу, because that is the dative case. And so the person is not the indirect object. The person is the direct object because that is who you are directly taking a picture of. У нашего друга, ве, would be indicating possession. And there's no reason why we would use possession here. The sentence wouldn't really make any sense. So that's why for 49, the answer is нашего друга. So 50 я дал кому свой фотоаппарат. So you dot что кому. You give something, accusative case, to someone, dative case. So that someone that you're giving something to has to be in the dative case. So we're looking for наш друг in the dative case as the indirect object. And the answer, therefore, is going to be Б. Нашему другу. So нашему другу, again, is наш друг in the dative case because it's the indirect object. And then фотоаппарат is accusative case because that is what you are giving. That is the direct object. As an aside, singular masculine adjectives and nouns have the same endings in the accusative animate case and the genitive case. And that's why we have нашего друга and у нашего друга, and the endings are completely the same, even though they're two completely different cases. But the exception here is nouns with feminine endings like дедушка and дядя. It would be я люблю моего дядю, right? It's not, so дядя would have the я to you ending change for accusative. 51. Я знаю этот писатель, этому писателю или этого писателя. So again, they want you to differentiate between direct and indirect objects. And direct objects answer the question что, кого, while indirect objects answer the question чему, кому. So let's go down the list. Let's look at our options. Этот писатель. So this writer in the nominative case. Okay, so we don't want the nominative case. When you know somebody or you know something, that someone or that something is the direct object. It's not кого, что. So it can't be a. Б. Этому писателю. This is the dative case. You should recognize the ending ому for этот, мягкий знак, changing to a u. So this is the dative case, and that would work if we're looking for an indirect object. But again, this is not кого, что. We don't use the dative case because they are not indirect objects. They are direct objects, and so we use the accusative case, specifically the accusative animate case, because писатель, writer, is animate. And so the answer has to be В. Этого писателя.